Analytics, Flipside Crypto, and Dune Analytics. All right. So with me here, I have Cruz Collins. He's also an on-chain data analyst, and I have Feikemi, who is also a blockchain data analyst and researcher. All right. So today's session will be facilitated um, by them. They walk us through the potential opportunities within the blockchain data analytics, right? So prior to bringing them up, I would just want to do a little, how do I put it now? Let me just give us a few instructions so that while the session is going on, we can just be muted. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat box, so that you don't interrupt the session while it's still ongoing. Okay, so I would just like to bring up Cruz and Kemi now, Kemi, so that they introduce themselves and then we can kick off with the conversation. All right, so let's welcome Cruz. Cruz.
All right, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Chinosu Collins. Although I go by the name Cruz Collins, I was one of the first cohorts of analytics stages, and then you know it's been a wonderful like it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm happy to be here. Hi everyone.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Cruz. Cruz has been, one of the uh, only persons in analytics been so passionate about on-chain analytics, and over time has developed and continue to develop more skill and experience in on-chain analysis. All right, thank you so much, Cruz. Feikemi, can we hear from you?
All right, thank you so much for that introduction. GM everyone. My name is Faye Kemi. I'm a blockchain data and research analyst, and I was a member of the first cohort. And it has been a really, really interesting ride since when I started till now. So good to have you all at the call.
All right. Thank you so much, Feikemi, for that. I believe many of us who are here, you would love to say, okay, who is behind, analytics sage. So my name is Oluwatunmise Olaoluwa, and popularly known as Apostle of Finance. I'm a blockchain data analyst. I'm currently building a career in quantitative analytics. Yeah, and I pioneered Analytics Sage, to help a lot of persons gain skill and knowledge in blockchain data analytics, right? I know some persons who are coming from Web 2, you are already good with, SQL, Python, and all. However, you're trying to familiarize yourself with the blockchain ecosystem. All right. So I will just create a little background on the subject of the topic we want to have today, while I would give room for Cruz and Feikemi to, take the floor. Okay. Yeah. So when we talk about blockchain data analytics, we are looking at, how do we extract informations from blockchain networks and generate actionable insights from them. All right. So blockchain in general is more like an industry that it's in an embryonic state, and still evolving into mainstream. Okay, and we have several opportunities and careers springing up within the blockchain space. Okay, of which blockchain data analytics is one of them. Prior to now, the blockchain space have not had so much data. So prior to these recent years, so we know Bitcoin was launched in 2009, and so far so good. The data's on chain started building up, okay, and now a lot of we now have a lot of data, okay, still not enough, but then of course the little we have now, we are now building up on it, creating insight, getting to predict trends, predict outcomes, predict risk, predict the health of the ecosystem. So just like how we use data to evaluate the health of an organization or of a company, where we look into their cash flow statement, we look into their income statement, we look into their customer and sales book, to know, okay, are we having more sales this month than last month? Are we having more patronage from clients this month than last month? And some of all those comparative analysis that we do in our traditional finance space or even in the business world. Now, it's now what we can also do in the blockchain, given that we now have data that that tracks users ID, that tracks transactions, that tracks maybe platforms and ecosystem where the transaction is being carried out and all. So that's where we are now in blockchain data analytics. So it helps us to extract and analyze data from blockchain networks. And why does this matter? Why is it important? Okay, now we can see that there is increasing blockchain adoption. Okay, and there is a vast amount of transaction that is going on chain right now, and this is offering a new business and financial opportunities. Okay, so because with the level of adoption that is coming in, the blockchain ecosystem would become more mature than it used to be. All right, and there would be a lot of more stability in terms of the regulatory environment. Okay, of course, the blockchain space right now is far away from regulation, so we still have a lot of persons playing insider information, playing some other activities that cannot be done in the traditional space. But of course, we can see that the interest of regulators and the government are already coming into the blockchain ecosystem. We can see some of the signs with activities of that's to do with compliance, that's to do with transactions. The Binance issue, the recent Telegram CEO Paris and whatever issue around there. So we can see that there are so many interests already coming in terms of regulation, but we don't have a solid regulatory environment yet. So now we can see that as blockchain is beginning to gain more adoption, there is now a need for us to pay attention, because that is why it matters. Now it is gaining so much ground, gaining so much adoption. It's carrying out large volume of transaction. Billions and billions of dollars going on chain. So it's worth paying attention to. Okay, and what are the key drivers of the blockchain space? So we can see that we have the one that is pioneering the engine, which is DeFi. I'm sure many of us have heard DeFi, which is an acronym for decentralized exchange. I'm sorry, decentralized finance. Pardon me, decentralized finance. So how does blockchain analytics come in when it comes to DeFi? Of course, it helps you to carry out monitoring on-chain metrics, to checkmate risk management, network health, user activities. You can check out, protocol governance. All right. We also have one of the key drivers is the NFT. Okay. I'm sure many of us have heard of NFTs as well. So these are like non-fungible token market. So with blockchain data analytics now, it helps you to analyze transactions of data, to track market trends, price movement, and also reality assessment, which is one of the features of NFT market. We also have one of the another key driver we call the enterprise adoption. Okay, yeah, because in this case now we now see blockchain being adopted into logistics, blockchain being adopted into healthcare. So the use of blockchain technology to help track supply chain, how products move from one place to the other, in order to create transparency and accountability, of these items and these transactions and the movements, right? So we see enterprise adoption as well. So with the use of blockchain now, you will see that there are institutions who will be needing to hire, data analysts who are acquainted with the blockchain ecosystem, in order for them to be able to track products or informations on chain likewise. So these are the key drivers of blockchain data analytic growth. Okay. And when it comes to opportunities for analysts, there are several opportunities, that analysts can leverage on in the blockchain space. Okay, now you can use blockchain data to create market insight. You can use it to detect fraudulent activity. Okay, you can use it to detect fraudulent activity. I saw somebody replying to Vitalik tweet and telling him not to sell Ethereum any longer. And then Vitalik was now explaining to him that it was like an automated transaction that he had already has already been programmed that, okay, this certain number of Ethereum will be sold at certain dates and sent to this particular address that is used to fund a particular project. So he replied that message. So with on-chain with blockchain data analytics now, you can track activities on chain, you can track fraudulent activities. All right. So and what are some of the tools that enable this? All right, we have platforms that are playing the forefront in this regard. Some of which the tool of which we most likely use in analytics stage is Flipside Crypto and Dune Analytics, right? So these are tools for querying and visualizing data using SQL. All right. The Flipside Crypto uses the Snowflake SQL, and the Dune Analytics Crypto Analytics platform uses the Treno SQL. Of course, when it comes to SQL, there are varieties of SQL, but just with a little syntax differences, of which are some of the things we are going to put you through in any of our trainings. All right. So we have other platforms as well. So now there are several career opportunities, okay, which is why we are having this conversation, okay. I'll before I proceed, I would just like to give the opportunity to Cruz, to take over from here and share with us the potential opportunities, in blockchain data analytics.
Okay, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, perfectly, Cruz.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the you called it a brief introduction, but it was quite like very deep. So, from here we are looking at the potential opportunities, and then some people are like, what are how is all this going to help me? How am I supposed to be interested in, becoming this? The first thing I would like to like start from is from my own personal experience. I currently now, like before I knew data analytics, I was, you know, very interested and fascinated with when it comes to forex, foreign exchange trading, and all that. Okay, I did a little bit of crypto trading before data analytics, and it was something that when I saw it, like you've seen it or probably you've had an idea of it, and then you now want to try it out or maybe see how it would go. It's something that when I saw it at that first time, I was like, what can I actually make of this? Because generally speaking, nobody acquires a skill for just the sake of acquiring a skill. You want to acquire a skill to, increase, potentially increase your sources of income, right? And then data analytics is something that is a very broad and not so saturated, that is not so saturated area or field of, endeavor that, when you look at some other types of, when you look at some other types of professions, when you talk about all these, will I say, tech or digital skills, you look at affiliates, you look at graphic design, you look at some other kind of skills, you see that they are kind of like saturated. But when you talk about data analytics, it's not that saturated. It's not something that which means there is an opportunity. The point is that there is an opportunity there, right? And then I was like, okay, let's try this out. One thing I want to share with you is that the point of, Apostle of Finance says something like, the point of all this is that it gives you a wide range of opportunities. When I started up, I was fascinated with the lectures and all that, and it really introduced me. It was the perfect way to introduce me to the crypto space, where I can contribute, not just as a farmer, that someone that wants to farm airdrops, or someone that wants to trade. When you can actually contribute. First of all, it helped me more in understanding the workings of the blockchain, because when you start analyzing data, when you start going to the, when we talk about data analytics, it looks like a big word, but when you start like paying attention to it, the exposure it gives you, it gives you a quite high level of exposure to really understand how blockchain works. So the first thing I want to say is that it gives you a wide range of opportunities. I as I've mentioned earlier, I'm actually an on-chain data analyst and a Web3 researcher. I was a researcher in Web2 before, you know, converting into Web3 researcher. And how did I get? How was I introduced into Web3? It was simply data analysis, right? So, when you talk about, first of all, your contribution to the blockchain space, and someone would be wondering, what do you mean by my contribution to the blockchain space? You see people that create content creators basically, and they create contents on various levels of stuff and online. You can literally become a blockchain data scientist that creates data analytic content, and if you build it as a brand, it's something that you can actually really be able to um, make something out of it. So the first thing that this, I'm just sharing this based on the trajectory of how I actually went, because there are different trajectories to this. First of all, you are introduced to Flipside, you're introduced to the whole broad stuff in Flipside. You're introduced to Dune, and then you're introduced to data communication, like being able to not just analyze data, but be able to share your insights. Now, sharing your insights means that you begin to create content. You guys can give me a reaction to, an emoji or a reaction to know that you're following or something. And then what I mean by like being able to communicate, okay, being able to communicate your data skills, you'll be able to like gain exposure to be able to contribute to the data space. Like as Twitter, for example, you can build a brand, right? You can build a brand and create content based on your data insights. This is from a personal standpoint, and I cannot just start to tell you what building a personal brand with data analytics can do for you, because as as Apostle of Finance said, it is like an area where there is high demand of this kind of stuff. People want to understand blockchain data, because most times when you're going into data, you begin to see that some projects are fishy. If you begin to see something fishy in some projects, you'll be able to detect projects that are bluffing, that are, you know, that are using wash trades, you begin to know, especially as a trader, you begin to know projects that actually really have real adoption, right? Begin to you begin to like see things that the average person cannot see. And when you share those things, you actually drag an audience towards you. And it is powerful. You can monetize, when you build the brand to be big, you can actually monetize it, and you can become someone that people go to for data analytics. I'm trying to come from the aspect of building a brand now. When you understand, data analytics, when you learn SQL, apart from the fact that SQL is something that when you just learn it, you can apply it in different spaces, right? Not just in blockchain analysis, you can actually apply it in different spaces. But in the blockchain analytic, field, you'll be able to share your insights and build a personal brand. That's I cannot emphasize more on that. I just being able to build a personal brand where you share data analytics stuff and be able to contribute, because that makes you a contributor, right? Apart from like the fact that when you start data analytics, um, on Dune, when you build on Dune, you actually build for they've not really like incentivized their users currently, but Flipside actually incentivizes for your when you build a data analytic dashboard. And then, but apart from that, apart from being able to be you know getting rewards for building a dashboard, you have the opportunity to meet developers, you have the opportunity to meet founders, you have the opportunity to communicate with these kind of people, and it can actually increase your network, which that on its own can give you a wide range of opportunities. Like when I started off, I was able to create a content, data analytic content, and that got me into this research organization, decentralized organization, Scribble, and then with that, you know, that one opened up opportunities where I could meet and interact with people that I can actually, okay, one thing about data analytics is that when you enter into the crypto space and you're data analytics, you're a data analyst, right? It gives you this kind of validity, like this guy understands, he's a data analyst, right? It gives you kind of this validity that you understand the blockchain space. So people trust you for research when it comes to Web3. People will trust you for research. So one of the I would say unexpected opportunities that this granted me as an individual was the ability to connect to, you know, important people, KOLs in blockchain, and be able to do more jobs. Like I know some of you that are like you're already in Web3, but you just want to, incorporate the data analytics skill. Aside from the fact that you can become, you can get opportunity to work with a project, which is very, 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 you are working with a project and get paid. You can actually get opportunities, you know, to projects. Like when you build something for projects in the name of in data analytics, you actually, they hold you in high regard because it's something that has not really like funny enough, as it progresses, you find a data analyst, and then it's one thing to find a data analyst, it's another thing to find a good one. So if you become a good data analyst, they are very scarce. Like people that really understand on-chain data, they are not really that, common over there. And then people are fascinated by data, right? Because data, it says data does not lie. So people are fascinated by data and that credibility to be able to provide insights that are verifiable, right? You know, so the first thing I said, let me just keep track of what I've said. The first thing I said is building a brand, personal brand. You can become, a YouTuber in data analytics. Like you can build a personal brand in the social space and share your insights and all that. It can help you trade. It can help you identify opportunities. It can help you trade. analyst can take you into places that you wouldn't have been. Like what I mean is it can give you access to people that normally you wouldn't have been able to access because now they see you as someone who can contribute to the data space, right? And then if you like do well, you can actually become an ambassador as well for a blockchain. There are many people I know, that are now ambassadors of Aptos, ambassadors of different crypto projects, and that has a lot to contribute to. It has a lot to contribute to your profession and your career, and it has a lot to, it's something you can generate income from. So if when I'm talking about like being able to do all these things, it looks like a very big leap. It looks like something that is very complex for some people that are not like that have not really started at all. But going forward, it might interest you to know I joined, I think it was December, maybe January. Like it's not been like up to yeah.
You joined February.
Okay, February, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not been a long time. So there's so much you can do in a short period of time when you put your attention to it. Wow, it's actually February. Yeah, it's actually February. So it's something that you can
It
do.
looks like you've been here for a century. That's crypto.
It's like I've been here for like 10 years. Like it's just February. So and the kind of opportunities you can actually see that can actually shift the frame of your mind. Like you may not understand. Like some people here, you may actually not believe the kind of, let me just say, money that you will be able to make if you're good and if you know what you're doing, right? But we are not trying to make you to be too focused on making money, which of course you are here to. If it's not going to give you resources, then it's not something you should worth considering, right? But then it's something that if you give it your time, it has the potential to give you that life you want. Like if you give it your time and give it your effort, like when you put your effort into it and cast yourself, let me just say, use the word cast yourself into it, it's something that can actually give you what you want, because now you're early at a point, because both, as Apostle said, you have not really like gotten to a point where it is now mainstream. Many people don't really have an idea. They know crypto as airdrops and fast money, and probably I don't even know whether they know about meme coins. But with this, you can actually like join into, you can actually narrow down, as I said, and become something. So I'll like pause a bit here so that I will not like
I
uh
mean, if there's a lot to say, there's a lot to say.
yeah,
So
so yeah.
I can imagine that. Yeah, and I think we have a very important person in our midst. Is someone I respect in the space, and yeah, there there are also people like him who really wants to see that you get better, right? And want to be sure you are putting out, the right information. So yeah, so once Kemi speaks now, I would bring Piper up, to also share with us potential opportunities in blockchain data analytics. All right, thank you very much, Cruz. That was insightful. Cruz could not even remember when he joined. He thought he joined December. It was just February, and I can see that a lot of them were so passionate, like so passionate that the way they give into learning the blockchain analytics also challenged me. Who tried to who introduced them into it, and it's been an interesting game for many of those who are joined. So yeah, I'll just bring up Feikemi Ruth to also share with us our experience and potential opportunities in blockchain data analytics. Over to you, Feikemi.
All right, GM everyone. So I'm left with what should I say? Because literally, Cruz and Apostle have said a whole lot, and I'm just like, okay, what's next to be said? But anyways, I'm just going to share my experience. So if you can learn from it, right? Because for me, I was someone who was coming from the Web2 data. I was a data analyst in the Web2 space before coming into the Web3 space. And when I saw the course, then back then in February, right, February, what made me interested in it was just a need to upskill. Because I was fine where I was working as a data analyst, but I mean, this is another niche for me to just upskill and get better, or just to have a knowledge of what was going on. And then I got into it. I took the course, and when I first introduced Flipside, and then I realized that there's no this data silo that we normally have in the Web2 space, because you have like organization hiding their data, holding their data, not wanting to review, or the data is being analyzed and you're noticing a gap. Let's say a particular data is being taken off. But then with Web3 data, you don't have that literally, because every data you have is not being it does not have like a central authority, but it's yes, decentralized. It is decentralized, right? So I was more interested in it, like, oh, I could actually do this and have like I could actually analyze for different chains, I could analyze for different projects and have their data out there. I don't necessarily have to beg them to give out their data like it was in the Web2 space. And I got more and more and more interested all through the learning process. And then another thing, while learning, he gave me an assignment. I can remember back then, a person gave us an assignment, and after giving us the assignment, I just did the assignment and I just published and I made a tweet on it. And before I knew it, I was earning from that dashboard. I was earning from that assignment. It's an assignment, right? But I was already earning from it. And I mean, that's like an opportunity for me. I have this data available, right? Sorry, please, can that person mute? It's kind of distracting. Thank you. Right. So I was saying it's I have this data available to me. I can make insight out of it. I have this skill that I've gotten. I mean, this is a career opportunity that even without not having like an employer per se, right? I am still earning from this skill I have. So putting the whole of this into reality, there are so many projects on the blockchain space, so many projects that need insight out of their data. So you can pick up any, have an understanding of it, and then begin to generate insights for them. You might be doing it for free, but trust me, people are watching. So many people are watching. You might think that, oh, nobody is really seeing me, nobody is really saying what I'm doing, right? But there are so many people watching you, right? So you can just begin, have an understanding of the space. For me, I was coming from a Web2. I didn't really have so much understanding of the whole space. And there was something that Chris said. He said it to help you understand blockchain data analysis, to help you understand the workings of the technology itself. So that was it for me. Having to analyze data, and I did a whole lot of questioning. I asked so many people questions. So this is one opportunity for you. You can just easily reach out to people. Oh, hey, can you please explain this to me? And you have to make so much research. You have to make use of YouTube a whole lot, and Google, and read a lot of white papers and understand so many projects, so that you'll be able to provide a good insight, be able to provide good analysis out of it. So because it's not just about like analyzing data, help them see what they don't have. It's about providing quality analysis, about providing quality analysis. So you can just maybe some projects already have like an analytics platform, maybe on their website or something analytics. So you could just look into it. What is it that these projects don't have on their platform that may be useful to them? And then you could pick it up. Flipside, you can use Flipside to just like find what you can get from what they don't already have. That is you providing insights for them. So that's an opportunity. You're creating a niche for yourself. You're creating an opportunity for yourself. And before you know it, so many people will be interested in you doing analysis for them. So these are opportunities you can make use of. Ask questions if you need to. And another thing is like I remember when I started, I would always like review people's dashboards and all. I would always review people's analysis and then make use of it and that. And then there was one that I did, and I forgot to acknowledge the person that actually did that analysis, and that is not right. Because imagine somebody sitting all night and having sleepless nights working on a particular analysis, and you, because of you want to maybe make insight, and you just pick it up, do a copy and paste. So it's entirely wrong, right? I learned that the wrong way. I learned that the hard way, rather. I learned that the hard way. So it's something that you should take note of. Whenever you're using somebody's work, always acknowledge the person. Always acknowledge the person. Maybe on your tweets, or maybe on your query or your dashboard itself. Just acknowledge the person, because that person has gone through a whole lot having to do that. So when you start your journey, maybe when you entirely start the whole space, when you entirely start the whole thing, try as much as possible to acknowledge people that help you get to where you are. Right. So I think that's it for me about the opportunities, how you can just arrange, how you can properly align yourself and then do better, providing quality insight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please. I mean, let's appreciate Faye came in with some emojis. That was insightful. I remember when they got started on chain analytics, and so far they've really on their skill. They've gotten a lot of opportunity. Feyikemi was one of those who Feyikemi and Ayo, they were also part of analytics. So they did, they did a bounty from DeFi protocol, and they were one of the winners of the analytics that they created. And we have several of our community members who have also landed their first on-chain analytic job, you know, some of which are working on private, gigs, and some of which are creating quality dashboards, on Flipside Crypto, which is a platform that incentivize creators. That's particularly creators with that, I mean data analysts who create insightful dashboard, quality dashboards. All right. So before I bring up Piper, I just want to share a few things, okay? Because I know that many of us are coming from various background. Yeah. So the opportunities I see in blockchain data analytics is quite enormous, right? There are a lot, and different the moment you start learning now, you get to discover that there is a lot more career opportunities, right? So there are career opportunities, even as a DeFi risk manager, whereby you specialize in assessing the health of DeFi protocols and managing risk, liquidity risk. That is what you just do. Okay, you are trying to look at how to mitigate, how to create insight on identifying possible risk that a liquidity provider can incur, on Uniswap, or possible risk or opportunity that an arbitrager can get, you know, um, trading on certain protocols and all. So there are several opportunities like that. You can become, you can use on-chain analysis and on-chain data. You can leverage machine learning, right? For those who want to scale up, like you just want to be on that level of, okay, SQL alone, you can decide to take it higher by using those data that you've queried out to create machine learning models, right? So there's a lot of enormous opportunities within the blockchain space, and analytics stage is on that path to help a lot of persons discover that and achieve their goal. One interesting thing that we all need to know is that, the blockchain data analytics is not just about the data. I'm sorry, it's not just about the code or the SQL programming. No, right? It's about your understanding of the data. All right, the understanding of the data, because if you know the code and you don't know what you are looking for, in programming, even in data science, there's the importance of domain knowledge, right? Domain knowledge is very, very important. So you need to have that domain knowledge of what is blockchain all about, what is this protocol all about, what are they trying to achieve, what are the possible challenges they are encountering, what are the possible solutions, what should people know about this protocol, what are the potential opportunities, what are the trends or signs that this protocol is worth looking at. So those are some of many of the things that blockchain data analytics and a career in blockchain data analytics can help you achieve. All right. While we look to rounding up, I would like to welcome someone special, like I said earlier, and that's Piper, who is one of the pioneers in Flipside community. So, Piper, just give you some few minutes to share with us as well potential opportunities in blockchain data analytics. Yeah, over to you, Piper.
Yeah, hi all. I'm not prepared to have a long speech here, but so first of all, thanks for having me and giving me the chance to talk to you guys. So I guess as already mentioned from Fekemi and also from Apostle and also from Cruz, we at Flipside we offer on-chain data for different blockchains, and beside that we have let's say a SQL engine and a dashboard builder, which gives you the possibility to create dashboards and tell a story or create just an analysis of a blockchain or a protocol or whatever. So, and I mean, as this is all about how to or about opportunities in the on-chain analytics space. At Flipside, we have let's say a program which is called Earn and Learn. So this gives already the beginners the chance to dive into the world of on-chain data analytics, and gives you the possibility to create dashboards and earn some money with that. So I guess that's the way Pekimi and Cruz and also came to Flipside and tried it out, and I would say they started, I guess, a few months ago, and since then they're doing very well. So, and that's usually the starting point for an analyst. So you can use our platform, you can earn some money, and you can learn during your creating dashboards. Usually that's the beginning. After that, you can level up. You start with the Silver League, which is paid a bit less. Then you can level up usually to the Gold League, where we pay a bit more for the dashboards. And later, maybe there will be a Diamond League, but it's still in discussion actually, where we pay more again. And there is a possibility, which was already mentioned earlier, I guess, to also get a position as an ambassador for our specific blockchain. So that's what usually is possible with Flipside. But beside that, we have a lot of analysts who started exactly like that and have now jobs, for example, directly at Flipside or in other companies in the Web3 area, and earning their money. So for example, for myself, I also started, I guess, 3 years ago now with Flipside, and as for example, Cruz and Fekimi, I also started there and was doing bounties. So that was how it was called in the past, where you had a task to build dashboards for a specific blockchain or protocol. and you were able to earn some money with it. And that's exactly how I started there. So I started to dive into different blockchains. I learned to use SQL and with on-chain data. Yeah, I created dashboards, I earned some money, and yeah. The second thing what I did is I supported other people on our Discord, and that's how I get the position as a community mod, and that's my it's not my main job, but it's my second job, and I do that usually on a daily basis, and also earn some money with that. So there are usually hundreds of possibilities, and also what was mentioned earlier is for sure you have to use Twitter to publish your dashboards to offer offer your work to a bigger audience, but also that gives you the possibility to get contact to the protocols. For example, if you do good work, sometimes they reach out to you for and ask you for some analytics or dashboards directly. So you don't have to do it for Flipside. You can do it directly for the protocols. They ask for it sometimes. So as I said, there are hundreds of possibilities out there. You just have to start somewhere, and you have to do it on a regular basis and learn and get better, and also raise the quality of your dashboards. And I'm pretty sure it will work out for you, and you will earn money with that, and also maybe you will get a job later with that. So there are, it was also said earlier, the Web3 is still a very, very young area. So, and it's still everything at the beginning, I would say, even if it's there already for, I don't know, 15 years now, but it's still at the beginning, and it's still growing, and there will still be more new jobs coming up. So it's a good industry, and I'm pretty sure there will be much more jobs in the future. So and I wrote it in the chat earlier. This is just a very brief description on how to get a data analyst, but you have to start somewhere, and this could be a path for you guys to learn blockchain and also learn to analyze data. So I would say that's it. That's it from my side for now. If you have questions, just ask. And if you're interested, for sure, just join our Discord, read our docs, understand how everything works at Flipside, and just try it out and build some dashboards.
Thank you so much, Piper, for that short, conversation. So, and we've had that, at Flipside, we create the opportunity to incentivize analysts to create quality dashboards. And at Analytics Sage, we help you acquire that skill, to achieve that opportunity. So I would like to give room for few questions. So if you have questions, you can just, share it. You can just either raise up your hand, and then we give you the opportunity to share. All right. Okay. Let me start with Adekunle. Please go ahead. Adekunle, are you there? Adekunle, you can unmute your mic and speak, please. Okay, while Adekunle is finding his, so Solomon Sylvester.
Okay, good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Uh, Thank you very much, sir, for it was though I joined halfway, but at least I learned something. Thank you for this presentation. My question tonight is, when you were talking, and even when Fayemi was talking, she talked about that she was already a Web2, was into a Web2 analytics before she saw this. Now, my question is, this is my, I'm just sharing about this blockchain analytics for the first time, and I've been hearing about data analysis, I think, for like almost a year now, but I don't have a background about it. So, someone like me, how do I come in now? If I want to involve myself in this project, how do I come in?
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So in analytics stage, we are not looking for people who have prior knowledge in SQL, even though whoever has prior knowledge in SQL can join. All right, but our teachings are done in from like we from like ABC. Okay, so if you are a total beginner, we teach you from that level up until you become quite experienced and give you that leverage, and also relevant um, communities that can help you enhance your skill. Like Cruz does not have a prior knowledge to SQL. A large majority of our participants does not have a prior knowledge to SQL, and they are doing excellently well as well. Okay, maybe in our next session we can bring 2 to 3 of them, right, who have no prior knowledge in SQL but now are very sound at it. All right, so the someone is asking the best place and way to learn SQL. So the best place to learn SQL is in analytics stage, right? We'll teach you from ABC, okay? And the best way to learn SQL is also to be among communities of people who speak the same language. All right. So if you want to learn a new language now, it's just for you to put yourself in the midst of people who speak that same language. And I tell you, you will learn by comprehension, when they begin to speak the language, and then, over time, you just get to have a grasp of what's going on. So the best place to learn SQL, you can join analytics stage, we teach you. And the best way to learn SQL is also to learn to be among people who are doing the same thing, so that you can be motivated when you see them doing a lot of things as well you also want to do, so that you are in a place whereby when you ask questions, you have someone who is able to answer you. All right. So, Solomon, I don't know if I've answered your question. Hope, I want to be sure if I've answered your question likewise. All right. Solomon, are we
Okay,
clear?
okay, yeah, you've answered my question. Well, so I do and I belong to the people, just like you said. What's the
Yeah.
requirement?
Okay. So, I'm dropping the general community link, okay, in the chat box now, and I'm also dropping the registration link in the chat box, and also my personal WhatsApp number, so that in case you have any question, you can always send me a DM, and I'm always here to help you. So I'm dropping the link now, just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Opayemi Ojileye, please go ahead to ask your question.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks to all the our speakers so far. I joined earlier. I mean, I joined early, so I was able to grab everything they've said. But my question is, like Solomon asked, I think you have already answered that. So hard to hit. What I just want to ask is how long is the training? How long will it be? I know that after we are done, we are still allowed to join the community to stay, but like the duration of the lecture, or the duration of the training, how long is it? Because for someone like me who's still looking at NYSC, if I pay now, maybe we start within, and I go for training. I feel like that I'm in 3 weeks. I won't be with my laptop and all. So it can be a disadvantage. I mean, it can be at the disadvantage. So I just want to ask, like, what is the duration? Is it 4 weeks? Is it 1 month? Is it between something to something like that? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. So that it will help you properly plan. So the training is 1 month. All right. So that's 4 weeks. And in the structured, with the way we are structuring it now, from the experience we had in our last two cohorts, we want to make it better. All right. So we have one lecture in a week. Okay, we have 3 times. We are meeting 3 times, right? 3 sessions. There will be one lecture. There will be one mentorship sessions in a week, and there will also be office hour. So the one lecture in a week is to help you, of course, the core on-chain analytics, right? Now, the mentorship session is also to help you understand data analytics, because what I later discovered is that not so many persons understand design concepts, data visualization, how to make use of charts, also some core blockchain terms. So that's what the mentorship session would cover. Now, the office hour is always practical, because after every lecture, we give you an assignment, we give you a task, right? So in the office hour on Fridays is where we come together to review the tasks together. Okay. So if you are able to go through this in 4 weeks, right, I can assure you that you will be well grounded with the fundamentals, okay, of on-chain data analysis, okay, so that going forward, you would now be able to build, more. Also, I also discovered that in a journey, right, you can have like 200 enthusiastic persons, okay, who wants to do something, and at the end of the day, just 20 would follow you through to the end. So we now have another separate community where we call it the Analytics Sage Army. So in that community, I am personally, mentoring each and every person in that community. And to be in that community, you must be consistent with creating your dashboard. So you must have created at least, 2 to 3 dashboards in a month. Okay, so and in that community, we do more advanced metrics, right? So I try to integrate them into how to use statistical analysis. Also, take all bounties that are not like the regular taxes we do every day, just like the user analysis and all that. There was one recently which I pushed to that closed community of Analytics Army. These are community of serious people who are very consistent. So that is where I want to channel my energy. So after that training, we got them into that community. And as of last week, we were working on a project, on what you call loss versus rebalancing. So it's much of statistics, right? So it really drive them to go and do further study, research, and all those things. So aside from the training, going forward, I am very much committed to each and everyone's growth. And Feikemi, they are part of the community. Cruz, they are part of the community. So, and they can attest to that. All right. So that is what Analytics Stage is committed to doing. All right. And if you come on board, that's also the same thing you will experience. I don't know if that's clear for you.
Yes, very clear. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Kola Wole.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you for this lecture. And my question is, I am already a data analyst. I work with SQL and Python. I am not new to data analytics. So I want to know if I should register for this program. Would I start with those who have little or no idea of data analytics?
Yes. So one of the reasons why you would start with them is because you will need to understand the schemas, the tables, how to identify the tables, the database from the platforms we'll be using, right? So beyond, as I said, beyond you just knowing how to write the code, okay, there's also the logical aspect of it, whereby it is that logic you you would use in writing your code. So you want to ask yourself, what's the logic behind your code? So it's not just writing the SQL, it's about what question are you answering? What problem are you trying to solve? Okay, what gaps are you trying to fill with your code? So that is why, being part of the training from the beginning is very, very important. Do you understand? So it's beyond just knowing how to code, knowing the SQL and knowing the Python. Those are very important as well, but the logic behind it becomes more interesting, because when you get the logic behind it, putting them in codes would be stress-free. Do you get the point now?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, I think we have Adekunle Fermi. All right. Adekunle Fermi, you can unmute.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, and thank you so much for this class. I mean a meeting. So my question is, for some of us that are currently working and we run shifts, we have the afternoon and morning shift. So how possible is it for us to meet classes? Let's say I am on a afternoon work duty and I miss the class. How possible is it for me to meet up?
Okay, so our classes hold in the evening, right? And we try to choose a time that weighs across, West Africa, East Africa, right? So our trainings are 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. So whether if it's South Africa, maybe an hour ahead or an hour behind, you can always work within that time frame. So 7 p.m. in the evening is when lecture starts. Okay, and for whoever missed this the lecture, or those who partook in the lecture and wants to go over it again, we always have the videos stored up in a drive that is only accessed to the cohort members. All right, so you always have access to go back, to watch the videos. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other question, or did I miss anything? Someone is asking, please, for some of us that don't have laptop for now, is the training something we can do? Okay, so I would recommend you use a laptop. All right. I mean, just if you don't have one, if you can access a laptop maybe from friends and family, you can, but you would definitely need a laptop. Okay, you would definitely need a laptop for the training. Okay, yeah. Okay, what other questions? All right. I believe we've answered the questions. So I've dropped the link, the community group link, the WhatsApp community group link. I've also dropped the registration link and also my personal phone number. Should you have more questions or want to reach out personally? All right. Kelvin, you can go ahead. Yeah, Kelvin, you can unmute yourself.
Hello. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm asking, what's the payment plan like? Can we pay twice?
Okay, so we didn't make arrangements for payment plan, all right. But if you have any personal need towards that, you can just send me a message on WhatsApp via my personal number that I've shared on the group chat, and then we can take it up from there.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I think I will just share. I want to share. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just round off with, I want to believe, okay. All right, I want to believe you can see my screen. Okay, so yeah, this is the training. Become a blockchain data analyst, learn SQL, learn on-chain analysis using SQL on Flipside and Dune. So what you would learn: fundamentals of blockchain analytics, basic SQL, on-chain analysis
Sorry,
technique.
sir, we can't see anything from your screen. Oh. Just black. Just black.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. I think it's just a picture. So I'm going to just share it in the community, right? I'll just share it in the community. So if you have not joined the community, please join through the link, okay? And if you have any question, please send me a private message on WhatsApp. And if you want to register, the registration link is right there. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I really want to say a big thank you to Cruz, and I also want to say a big thank you to Feikemi. And I also want to say a big thank you to everyone who have, taken out their time to join us on this call. All right. I would love to see you in the cohort, and let's learn together. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a great time. Bye, guys. Thank you so much, Piper, for joining and spending your time with us. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Right.